Hey guys, Drutter here, June 18th, 2025. Just have a little monologue about some things I'm thinking about, what's going to happen in the future. Just thought I would launch right into it by talking about why I might be the kind of person that's credible to talk about that topic, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what I think might be coming. I have an above average pattern recognition skill. I always have. Above average logic and math, and a few other fields as well, but those seem to be the most pertinent here. Pattern recognition, logic, and math. I have an above average understanding of historical and current events. I'm a little bit more informed than the average person about what's going on right now and what has happened in the last generations. In fact, I'm not certainly not an expert in history, but I understand it better than the average person. Along with current events, I understand better than the average person. And as well, 20 years of constant study and thought that I have put into this. It's become sort of my full-time job, more than just a hobby. It's been what I've been doing the past 20 years. And so all that adds together to, well, I do have a long track record of accurately predicting trends, markets, prices, and even events. Things that are coming, things that are happening. I am able to some degree, see that. It's not magic. All of us have the ability to some degree. You know what's going to be happening tomorrow, for example, or you can, sort of predict what will be happening in a few months to some degree, right? Other people are better than others at that. It's, everyone's a little bit different, and some people are better at various things. This one thing I happen to be better at is able to extrapolate out what is going to happen based on what's currently happening and what I know has happened in the past, and then my understanding of patterns and trends. This is how it's done, and it's in fact a useful skill that people use without even thinking about it in their day-to-day life, and that's how you sort of predict what's coming, and how it's part of intelligence, basically. It's how a person or an individual, even animals, can do it to some degree, predict what is coming. It's an ability that mammals and higher animals have access to. And of course, some humans are better than other humans at it. And so these humans that are better at, basically predicting what's coming are have a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of power in some ways. Other people are physically stronger or whatever. We all have abilities, right? This is one ability that some humans have, is to somewhat be able to kind of see what's coming a little bit better than others. It's not magic, like I said. We all have that ability. It's just some are better. And so I do have a long track record of very, for example, the Bitcoin price. I have very many famous, actually, calls, not famous to anyone else, but famous to me and my subscribers, where I was able to accurately predict almost everything about the Bitcoin coming chart, like the shape of the trend that was coming. I predicted that back in 2013 before it even started repeating. I said, you know what, this is going to be the pattern. And it has played out just like that. And I even have charts that I drew that look exactly like the chart that came about. So, I accurately predicted price points, price levels, price breakout points, pullbacks, even to the day. Like I predicted not just the numbers, but the day that would happen, or the week that it would happen, over and over and over and over again, until I proved to myself and to everybody else that was watching that it's not just an accident. And that's just one of the things. Many of the things I've talked about on this channel have come true. There's that saying, yesterday's conspiracy theory is today's confirmed fact. And that's true. And they say stuff like, what's the difference between conspiracy theory and the mainstream media? Well, about 6 months, right? That's just, it's going that way. All the conspiracies that we've been talking about for years and years and years have come to pass. In fact, we were even told that conspiracy, just the idea that the word itself was crazy, it was paranoid, it was part of mental illness. But conspiracy is actually a legal term. It actually means to plot secretly to do bad things. And that's all it means. And so when you theorize about conspiracies, you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're figuring out who's swindling everybody else, who's jerking everybody else around, who is conspiring, who is doing evil secret things against everyone else. That's what conspiracy theorizing is. And so I said in 2010, I think it was, or even earlier, I'm proud to be a conspiracy theorist. Absolutely proud, because we should be. Because there are some major conspiracies going on, and if you're not thinking about it, you're going to be bamboozled by it. You're a fool. You're up for grabs. And I don't like to be up for grabs. I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to be taken advantage of, used, abused, and enslaved. And that's what happens to people who don't pay attention to what's going on and let others do that to them. So I've been trying to blow the whistle on this for a very, very long time. And it's not happening. My channel is now completely strangled. So I upload only for, just for maybe a few people to see it, my own subscribers, but I know that no one outside of that will see it. I'm not able to gain an audience anymore, no matter what I do. My videos cannot be seen except to anybody who's already seeing them. And so my audience gets smaller and smaller and smaller over the years, because as people die or move away or don't come back to YouTube or whatever, then that audience goes away. So on YouTube, it's almost gone. I get maybe 50 to 100 views on a video. But that's the intro to this. Basically, what I want to say basically is, I have a long track record of predicting things, and I've laid out the reasons why that probably is. Pattern recognition and logic and math, historical events, current events, and 20 years of constant study and thought. So that all has culminated in my ability to accurately predict things. And what I see happening, how far do we want to go, but one of the things I do see happening in the not terribly distant future is a judgment of people. And I think it's going to be, everyone's going to be judged, and it's going to be, yes, to determine if there needs to be punishments. And I believe that this will be done mostly by computer, unfortunately. I don't think that, I say unfortunately because I don't currently think that's the right path, but we'll see when we get there, I guess. But I do believe that is what is coming, is a judgment by computer. And computer programs, AI, algorithms, whatever you want to call it, advanced machines, will determine who is judged in what way, and perhaps even what happens to them as for punishment. What does seem to be likely is that humans will start off this path, and maybe I'm thinking within 5 to 10 years, this is probably going to start kicking off. Humans will start deciding that there needs to be, reckoning or accountability, or I don't know what catchphrase they're going to come up with at the time, but there's going to be some big thing that's going to need to happen, like reconciliation kind of thing for everything and for everyone, because we're coming to a point where almost all information will be known. Everything's becoming centralized. Data is being accumulated. Data is not being lost very regularly. It's mostly being kept and accumulated, and so there's a lot of information. And as we get better computing powers, that information will be able to be processed better than it ever has before and analyzed. And I think that computers and AI and such are already doing what I can do. So they're already predicting the future. In fact, better than I can now. Back in 2012, I said, I feel like I'm being strangled here on YouTube. I feel like my views are going away and all this kind of stuff. And my videos cannot be seen by people. I can't get new subscribers. I can't go viral anymore. Something's happened. Later we found out what that was, and that's called shadow banning. About 9 years later, Elon Musk blew the whistle supposedly on it and said, there's this thing called shadow banning. Oh my God, it's real. And everyone was, wow, okay, wow. They've been hiding, important stuff and keeping certain people quiet and stuff for a long time. Yeah, well, I kind of said that a long time ago, a long, long time ago. But we got shadow banned, got kept quiet. But the path that I've been on since then has been, I continue to learn, I continue to study this, and I continue to see things and predict what's going to happen, and I'm able to do that with great regularity, great accuracy. It's less of it's going on YouTube nowadays, but that's just because that it can't be seen. It's not reaching anyone, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, in 2012, I saw all that. I saw shadow banning and everything coming. But more recently, I've said that there is something worse. I feel like we're no longer fighting against a human opponent. This is censorship and propaganda and so on that's coming from an advanced machine intelligence now. It's not coming from a human anymore. So I no longer feel I have much chance fighting against it or battling it or whatever you want to call it, trying to defeat it, because it is exponentially more powerful than me and continuing to grow at an exponential rate, whereas I am at best holding on to my level of intelligence over the years. So there's no chance for me to defeat this anymore. I think most of the work, the waking up or whatever you want to call it, that we did in the early days, I think most of that is done now. I think that now things are moving on anyway to they don't really care if we wake up or not now. The whole idea is that we can't do anything even if we are awake now. They were trying to keep us from understanding what was going on, and that they are essentially enslaving us and taking us to a digital enslavement future. But they're no longer hiding that anymore. Officially, they're not talking about that, but of course, but 80% of people or more already understand. And it's just a few ignorant people that don't understand, and it doesn't matter. They can do what they want now, and they're kind of acting that way. Ever since COVID, basically, they know that they can do what they want, pretty much. So the computers are already able to predict what's going on. They're already, humans are already using these advanced computer programs, what's called AI, to essentially predict what is coming next. And they have models, so they'll do like run 1,000 simulations or 100,000 simulations and analyze the probability of different things happening based on those models and different factors they put into it, inputs. So what comes out is, I guess, I don't have that information, but that tells them what they need to do next, or allows them to adjust their plan. And so that's why it doesn't feel like we have much of a chance anymore. They're using this against us. As you know, the military and government have technology, 10 to 30 years ahead. I think with AI and stuff, it's probably in a 10 to 15 year range ahead of what the public has access to. So they are doing stuff that, what were we doing with AI 10, 15 years ago? Nothing. You were doing nothing with it. So about that's when they started to be able to use stuff like ChatGPT type of stuff back then, AI models, and predictability, and able to create content and that kind of stuff they've been doing for that long. And so what does that mean about 5 years ago? Where were they? They were extremely advanced. They're where we, the public, are going to be with AI in another 5 years from now. That's what they were doing in 2019, 2020. So it's not to say we don't have a chance, don't have any options here. We do. There's things that they and their computer programs don't understand and can never understand. That's another topic. But what I do want to say with this video is what I do see is that there is a judgment coming. There's going to be, unfortunately, I see things getting a little bit worse before they do get better. I don't know when they're going to get better or exactly how, but I do think that will eventually happen, because truth ultimately comes out, always does. You can never suppress it, no matter how tight your AI is or whatever it is that you put all the whole world into the matrix, basically, and keep us all enslaved for a million years. This truth still will come out, because I think that all messages will be delivered. I think that all mysteries will be solved. I think that all lost things will be found, and so on. I believe literally in that. I don't think any of us will ever, any of us humans will ever die completely. We will be, I have another video on this, I guess, but I do believe that we will have life after this life. And it sounds like it's from the Bible or something. I'm not talking directly from the Bible. I'm talking from my own experiences, my own observations. I believe that's what's coming. And it does seem to match up with the Bible and so on. And I'm not exactly sure how to explain all that, but I'm looking into it for sure. I'm digging, because there's something there. And yeah, we are coming to a judgment. That does sound very biblical or religious. Coming to a judgment, and there will be like an Armageddon, I guess you could say, an end of the current times anyway, and not a destruction of everything, but an end of the current way of doing things on Earth. And it seems to me like we're bringing it on ourselves. Whether people are following prophecy and trying to make it happen, or the prophecy is somehow magically true and, you know, someone did see the future, or something else even that I don't know. But we do appear to be coming toward a judgment. And I think that humans are going to be in charge of that. Unfortunately, I think that there's going to be people are going to be out for blood, out for vengeance, and out for punishment. And a way to control people also is to further control anyway, we're already under control, but to further control people is to be able to punish them for even more things. Prohibition of everything almost. We're already seeing that happen. Legalization, for example, wasn't about ending prohibition, it was about more control. So that's what is coming, is more control over everything, over all substances, over all foods, over all nutrition, over everything. Anyone who goes against that regime is, you know, basically going to be dealt with harshly. And I think that punishments are going to go retroactive. So they're going to say, we now have data going back a very, very long time, and we now can analyze that data and definitely determine that you did this Google search in 1997 when the internet was new and you got a new computer and you had this Google and you thought that no one would ever see what you searched and you typed this in, right? I think everything is going to be known. And I think that everything is going to be punished in some way. Unfortunately, I think that people are going to want to punish everything. And even, you know, I'm not just talking on the internet, I'm talking everything you've ever done. And to go a little further, I think that our thoughts, our conscious thoughts, are even going to be punished. Going back in time. You thought you got away with something by thinking something a long time ago and not telling anyone? You didn't. So that's a little fantastical now for this video, but anyhow, I really just wanted to get out a few thoughts this morning while my daughter's playing, and they were on my mind. I have a lot of other stuff to talk about in this. This is, I mean, I could have gone on 100 different tangents down there. I just chose, that was just one way I chose to go with this topic, but it's going long and long and long, so I'm going to leave it there. No one's going to see this. It's uploaded basically just for the record. But if you do see this, then thanks. Talk to you guys soon.